What's up, guys? Welcome back to the American Dream Podcast. My name is Josh, and I'm the host of the podcast, as well as the owner of a business called the American Dream Project, where it is our goal to make this country the best that it has ever been by becoming personally excellent in faith, family, fitness, finance, firearms, and freedom. That is our goal, and that's what we're here to do. This podcast is a tool that we use to help you become better by me basically laying out my mistakes, my trip-ups that I have learned from and sharing them with you, and so we can become better together and in turn just make this country the best it has ever been. So if you're new, welcome to the show. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm glad to see you guys here. Today, I've got on hand for you a Monday mission. This is our second Monday mission, and if you don't know, if you didn't see our first one, if you don't know what it is, it's going to be kind of a shorter episode of the regular long-form podcast that I do on Fridays. And it's just going to be a quick, one-topic information coming to you, just quick, about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, just hard-hitting and no fluff, no nothing, no advertisements. I don't do advertisements anyways. I just ask you please subscribe to the show and then share it with at least one person. So, since it is Monday mission, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it today. So recently I was on a podcast called the Cash Flows Podcast, which is hosted by a great man named Cash Matthews. He's a part of the Tulsa Business Owners Networking Group, which Tulsa is my local metro area, and it's just a group of business owners. It's a great group. But I had the honor of being able to be on their podcast. And we talked about a number of things related to the American Dream Project. But one of the things that I talked about in it was being future focused in the present. And so you're probably wondering, what do I mean by that? So being future focused in the present is being, so you've got the past, you've got the present, and you've got the future. And a lot of people like to say, forget the past, which you can't do. But a lot of people say, oh, you need to be looking towards your future. So we usually end up leaving out the present. Well, I say that, but there are some people that say, you just need to be here in the now, here in the present. And the truth is, you need to be constantly looking at all three. Because the past has happened for a reason. You have gone through the stuff you've gone through for a reason, so you can learn to make your present and your future better. So you have to be constantly evaluating your past, being like, okay, this happened in the past. Can I learn from it or can I not? If you can't, then just stuff it away. Don't worry about it. But if you can learn from it, you've got to learn from it. Like, you can't just leave it alone because you're going to keep continuing to trip over that same thing over and over again unless you learn from it. So you have to take your past into consideration when you're deciding what you're going to do today, and in turn, what you're going to do tomorrow. But then you have to look to the future, or else you don't know what your, I don't want to say destination, but what your next stop on your journey is. If you're not looking to the future, you don't know which exit to take. So you have to be consistently evaluating and asking yourself, where am I going? Because if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up nowhere. So you have to always be asking, what's the next step? What is the next exit? Where do I go next from here? And then when you do that, you have to take those past lessons that you are learning and have learned from. Take your goals, take your vision, take your next stop on your journey. Take those together, bring them together, and then what you've brought together from your past and what you have brought together from your future is what you need to do today. You have to come up with tasks that are going to help you learn from the past and tasks that are going to help you move towards the future today. And so that's what I mean when you have to be that's what I mean when I say you have to be future focused in the present. And really, I could say you have to be future and past focused to be in the present. Because if you aren't looking at your past and if you aren't looking to your future, you have no guidance from the past and you have no direction from the future, And so most people end up going nowhere because they don't want to address the past, but they want to live in the now and don't want to worry about the future. But the reason people don't want to look at those things is because some people, it's easy to get caught up in the past, to get down on yourself when you look at your past. It's past things that have happened to you, past things that you've gone through. It's hard to look at those in a light that doesn't bring back the almost PTSD effect. Like, you think back to your past, you're like, oh, that was such a hard time. I don't want to think about that, nothing. But you have to be able to learn. You have to look at that. So many people are scared to look at their past because they're worried they might end up living in their past. And that's what a lot of people end up doing, is they get so caught up in their past. They live in their past, and their past becomes their present, and it's just an endless cycle. But you have to realize that two things. You have to become disciplined enough to know that, like, okay, I cannot let this become my present because it was my past and it's my past for a reason. But I have to learn from it. That way I don't make the same mistakes going forward. So you've got that side. But then you've got the side that is so worried about their future, so focused on their future, that they don't see what's happening right in front of them today. They don't end up taking steps today. It's a lot of what you hear. It's a concept called paralysis by analysis, and people are so focused on analyzing their future, on what they want their future to look like, what they're going to do in the future, that they don't take action today. They're too worried about the future that they don't do anything today. But what they don't realize, if you're living in your future and not focusing on today, doing things today, your future will never become reality. So to be able to move forward in life, to be able to move towards your goals and achieve your goals and achieve success, you have to be able to take your past and learn from it and look at your future, figure out where you're going, bring it here, figure out your action steps, and do those action steps today in the present. And that, my friends, is being future focused in the present today. If you don't have your guiding principles and your lessons that you have learned from, you're going to not do anything. You're going to be stuck. You're going to go through the motions of life, and you're going to end up being 75 years old, looking back at your life, realizing, oh crap, I didn't do anything with my life, and being upset and having regret. And I don't know about you guys. I don't want to be 75 years old and looking back at my life being like, man, I wish I would have done things differently. I wish I would have gone after those dreams. I wish I would have figured out something to move closer to that business, to build that relationship, to just enjoy time with my kids, to be able to help my kids to do this, be able to help my family to do whatever. Nobody wants to be 75 years old looking back on their life and all they feel is regret. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for you. So I'm telling you today to take a look at yesterday, figure out what lessons you need to learn, bring those here to the today, and look at your future, figure out where you're going, where you want to go, figure out what steps it's going to take to get there, bring them to today also. Take your lessons and your action steps, put them together. And that is what you need to do today to ensure that you do not end up having regret. Because you may not achieve everything that you want to achieve in life. But the greatest form of regret is regretting not doing anything. Because I would rather be 75 looking back at my life being like, I did everything I possibly could to achieve everything that I wanted in this life, instead of looking back on my life and regretting I didn't do anything to move towards what I wanted in this life. And that is what I want you guys to get today. It's not about yesterday. It's not about tomorrow. But you have to take yesterday and think about tomorrow to be able to figure out what you need to do today. Take action today. Imperfect action is better than no action. Any action is better than no action. Because without action, there is no progress. So take action today. That is today's Monday mission for you guys. I hope it inspires you today inspires you for this week, for the rest of this month, and gets you going. That way you can move forward in your life and achieve what you want. And guys, I appreciate all your support with the American Dream Project. I appreciate your support with this podcast. It means the world to me. I love you guys, and remember, success takes work, work takes time, and time is limited. So get out there.
You are now in the presence of